have passed the freaking NBCOT exam, which is the board exam for occupational therapists, which I'm so grateful and thankful. It took me 3 tries and I studied 3 months for each attempt. So I've been at this for a very long time, but I'm just very grateful that I'm on the other side. And this video is out there for people who are like struggling with the NBCOT or they haven't taken it yet and you just want to understand the different resources that are out there. I got you. Now I do understand because it has taken me multiple attempts. Maybe I'm not the best person to listen to, but this is just my experience and this is what helped me finally pass the board exam. If you've been here through the study lives, thank you for being on the study lives. I did a lot of study lives for the past few months just because I needed the motivation to work. So study lives are great. If you need the motivation and no one is studying with you, create your own study lives and it's so fun, and other people from around the world have joined, which is so cool. So thank you guys for joining those study lives with me. I appreciate it. My school did not train us for the NBCOT at all. Like, we had 1 day in class and that was it, and it was trash. So this board exam is really hard, but especially my school did not train us for it. So I felt like that probably made it a little harder. No hate to my grad school though. I genuinely had such a really good experience at my grad school and I learned a lot and I gained a lot of skills from it. However, I did not gain testing skills. But you know what, guys? Literally, like, after this board exam, when you start working, it won't be like the test. You know what I mean? I think it's more important to be a good clinician versus knowing how to take a test. Being the best clinician you could be has nothing to do with this stupid board exam. So I hope this video is encouraging for people if they're still taking it and there's like a lot of attempts that they've taken already and they feel like giving up. Like, please do not give up. Just know that if I could pass, literally anyone could pass. And it just took me a bit. For me personally, I know some people, they passed it right away on the first attempt. I know some people it took them 5 times. For me, my 3rd time. There's someone apparently that it took them 10 times, and that's okay. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with that. Like, literally this exam is so hard. It's so hard, but I am just very grateful that I'm on the other side and that I didn't give up. And I'm telling you out there, if you're still taking this test, like, please do not give up. Or if you haven't taken it yet, hi, I hope this video is helpful for you based on what kind of resources would be best for you. I'm gonna go through all the resources right now. So I guess I could start off with what resources worked for me personally. So I really depends on what kind of learner you are. Sorry, hold on, I'm really thirsty. Oh my God. I started off with 450 formula. If you have not heard of 450 formula, oh my God, it's life-changing. That with TrueLearn, you need to have both. You can't just have one, you need to have both. But that's for me personally, and I'll tell you why. First of all, 450 formula is all videos based, which is amazing because for me personally, I am a visual girly. Reading, not the best for me, honestly, especially if I don't understand the text of what is going on. 450 formula, you understand what's going on. Like, Miles does such a great job with the visuals of it all, and he makes such complex topics not as complex as it needs to be. Like, he makes it simple to understand. So he does like 6 different topics and they're all like the main topics. Unfortunately, he doesn't do like the mini topics, which I think maybe later on he said he is going to make a course in the fall of the mini topics as well. Which again, the major topics are more important, but I feel like every point does count. So it's important that you make sure to look at the not as major topics. But he goes through 6 major topics and makes it just understandable with all his visuals. And I do not, like, Miles seriously helped me pass this exam. Like, literally 450 formula is so good if you're into visuals. Like, the graphics are so good and just his way of explaining things is so good. Kim's on there too. I'm not gonna lie, she's okay. She's okay, but Miles is really good. He's very good at explaining topics very well. And he takes such a complex topic and makes it much easier, and he makes all these like visuals that makes it much easier to understand. And it's on 6 different like hard topics, right, that are like the majority of the points. And then again, the minor topics he doesn't have, but I think he's going to come out with a course in the fall with the minor topics as well. I think it's important to know like as much as you can, because the more points you get, the better. 450 formula, it's where it's at if you need videos. videos. It's so good. And it really helped me understand the concepts. Now, to pair with 450 formula, you need TrueLearn, okay? I could not do 450 formula without TrueLearn. You need both of them. You need basically an understanding resource, like whether it's videos or reading, just like a main resource with practice questions. You have to do practice questions with it. And I would say out of all the practice questions, I think TrueLearn has the most similar to the NBCOT exam, which is actually insane because I had the NBCOT study pack and I did not think it was anything like the exam for me personally. Oh my God, I have to burp. Okay. Anyway, I did not think the NBCOT study pack was anything like it. I thought it was easier, to be honest. Like the scores that I was getting on the study pack were higher than the scores on the real exam. And I'm like, what the heck? It felt so fake. I genuinely think TrueLearn is the most similar to the exam, like the wording of it. Okay, and it's important to understand the wording of the TrueLearn questions because that same wording will be on the test. Now, you can't memorize TrueLearn, right? Like you can't memorize TrueLearn. You have to understand what's going on, but the wording of it is how it's going to be on the test, okay? And I'm not going to lie, there were some questions that were pretty similar to the TrueLearn ones. Only like a few, but there were a few questions I'm like, wow, this is just so similar to the TrueLearn. But I just have to say, like, the wording of the TrueLearn really makes you think about it because a lot of the time you might know the knowledge so well, right? And the knowledge is like going to be from the videos, or if you use a reading resource, like you need the knowledge portion and then practice questions to practice what do you know about the knowledge. I do gotta say though, a lot of people that might know the knowledge well, but if you don't read the questions carefully, you're not gonna get it right because they make the questions so hard where it's like, I don't know which one to pick, but it could be you have to read the question correctly, right? So TrueLearn does such a great way of making the questions just like how it is on the test. What would you do prior, initially? Which one's the best? There's just like the wording of it is just like the test. This is what you need to do if you're doing this pattern. After a video from 450 formula, TrueLearn questions, okay, based on that topic. So Miles, he goes through all these sections, all these different topics, like mini topics in the main topic, right? So there's 6 main topics and he does little sections in each topic. I would literally take that section after I watched the video and I would type it into TrueLearn on the search engine. And basically TrueLearn created the practice questions for the video that I just watched. And I read the rationales on TrueLearn. I think it's very important to read the rationales because you're learning more info, and the more knowledge you know, the better, right? You need to know how to take the test, and also, of course, you need to know the knowledge and to apply it. Do active recall. Active recall is key because if you forget all that info, like you're screwed, okay? It's so much info in your head, like you need to continue with active recall, like every single day, do a little active recall each day. And make sure to review it like weekly because it's a lot of information, and that would suck if you got a question wrong just because you forgot the info. That would actually suck. Like make sure you know all the info. But yeah, and that's the whole point of active recall is for you to like remember the info. So I did active recall every single day, and then each week, whatever I learned that whole entire week, that's what I reviewed. And then towards the end, I reviewed like everything. For a week straight, all I did was active recall. I read my notes and I would look away from my notes and be like, okay, what did you just learn? And what I would do is handwrite the notes. For me personally, I handwrote all the notes because I know for me, handwriting is the way to go. Typing it does not work for me. Like I just don't remember the info if I'm typing it. Handwriting it is the way to go. For me personally, like muscle memory is key. I remember my arm would hurt so badly every single day, but oh my God, it was just like worth it because I just remember more info more when you write it because your brain is processing you writing out the words versus typing is just so quick. But your brain has the time to really process to know what am I going to write down because writing is definitely much slower compared to typing. I say it's worth it, the muscle memory aspect of it. So I hand wrote all my notes like for 450 formula and for TrueLearn. If it was something that I got wrong, like a rationale that I got wrong, I would handwrite all that. And I would do the active recall from my handwritten notes. Now, when it comes to the knowledge base, if you're a visual girly, 450 formula is the way to go. Now, if you want to go more in depth, definitely therapy ed. However, for me personally, I did not understand what the heck was going on. It's a very dense book, very dense, and a lot of information. And honestly, I didn't really fully understand what was going on in the book. I needed visuals, and therapy ed has some pictures, but like barely. So if you're a reader person though, if you really like reading the textbook and you understand what's going on, then therapy ed is probably the way to go, because it's so in-depth that if you know everything that's going on in therapy ed, then you're gonna be okay for the exam, because the exam isn't as in-depth as therapy ed. But I would say I didn't understand fully what was going on in the therapy ed book. However, I did understand what was going on more in the therapy ed book than AOTA. I had the AOTA PDFs. I don't know why people love the AOTA PDF so much. Genuinely, it's like all these like medical terms, and I'm like, I literally don't understand what's happening. Like, it didn't feel like English when I was reading it personally. I just don't understand what is going on in the PDFs, because it doesn't feel like English to me. It literally doesn't feel like English to me. Also, the AOTA PDFs don't have a lot of interventions, and we know that interventions is domain 3. So you want to make sure you know all the domains well. But domain 3 is intervention based, and I feel like AOTA didn't really cover that many interventions. Now, if you want something not as like crazy reading, like AOTA PDFs, you could read that way more quickly compared to therapy ed. Like therapy ed, that's a lot of reading. That's a lot of reading. But AOTA PDFs, like, it's going to be much quicker for you. However, I did not understand what was going on. I made the mistake of literally like taking the AOTA PDF, putting it into chat and saying, can you make this easier to understand? However, do not use chat. Do not use ChatGPT for this test at all. Chat does not know. Okay? Like, if you ask chat questions, it will give you the wrong answer. It will. So please do not ask chat at all for this test. Like, it will give you the wrong answer. I could give you an example. I literally gave it a question from the NBCOT study pack, and I said, please answer this for me, and it gave me an answer. And then the next day I literally put in the same question and it gave me a different answer. That was frustrating, because, you know, on the NBCOT study pack thing, when you take those practice tests, they don't give you the answers. It's only a way to see your raw score, which by the way is so fake, because the score that they gave me was much higher compared to the test. Like, the test was just way harder for me personally. So I didn't even like the study pack, to be honest. It was not for me. But anyway, when you search the questions into chat, because let's be real, when we all take the practice test, like, we're taking pictures of the practice test, I would send it into chat, and chat like literally would change its answers. So do not use ChatGPT at all. And I also did that for the AOTA PDFs to understand it more. Like, chat did not help. Okay. So, you know, just be cautious with using chat for this exam, because I think chat doesn't even know the answers, to be honest. So if you want to get trusted answers, definitely use TrueLearn, because it gives you the answers. Therapy ed gives you answers. Like, use resources that give you answers, right? And understand the rationale behind it. Do not use ChatGPT to give you answers for that. I also got past the OT, and I got it because it comes with videos. I did not like the program. I have to be so honest. I did not like the program. They gave you a lot of bulleted info, and I just didn't understand what was going on. Didn't make any sense to me. Like, it wasn't telling a story. They just give you a shit ton of bullet points and lists and charts, and it's like, it's not telling me a story. Like, I'm not understanding what's going on. So I guess for me, I'm really not a reader, but like, it just didn't make sense what was going on. I'm like, why are you giving me all this bullet point information and tables? Like, they didn't explain. It's just like, know all this info. And I need a story. So Miles does a great job with like kind of giving a story to understand what's going on. So the past OT did not give story vibes. There's just a shit ton of like, oh, sorry for cursing, but that's my personality. I do curse a little too much. They give you a lot of bullet points and a lot of lists and charts to know. And I'm like, all right, it's overwhelming to look at, but also I just don't understand what's going on. So they do have videos on there, but I did not think the videos were that great. If you compare it to Miles has way better videos. So I had past OT, I had AOTA, therapy ed, I had TMPOT questions. They're not like the test. I do not trust this woman. I only say that because I've been in her like group tutoring session, and it was okay. And then, I don't know, I haven't tried her PDFs. I don't know what her PDFs are like, but I did try her practice questions, and they're just not like the test. They're just not. Like, TrueLearn genuinely has the best practice questions. Also, her assistant tutor person, she was tutoring one of my friends, and she told her to get TrueLearn. Like, she did not recommend Kim's platform. She said get TrueLearn. So I'm like, oh my god. Okay. Do not buy the Chegg. I can't believe I did that. I bought Chegg because Chegg claimed that they had answers for the NBCOT study pack, and because you know with the study pack they do not give you the answers to the test, so Chegg is like, oh, we have the answers. Yeah, again, do not trust Chegg because it's probably like other students that are answering the questions and they don't even know the answers. Like, literally no one knows the answers to the test except for the test makers. So that was low-key a waste of money, but it's okay. It was only like $15 a month. I think that's all the resources that I've done. That's really it. You guys got this. Keep going. Genuinely, it's such a hard exam, but once you're on the other side, it's literally the best feeling in the world. And I'm in the process right now of applying to jobs, and it's like insane to me that there are so many job positionings because there aren't enough OTs out there. Like, the world needs you. Just know the world needs you. Do not give up on this. Like, keep going, keep fighting. If you have been at this for a while, it's not fun, but I promise on the other side it's gonna feel so good. But anyway, I will stop rambling now. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments, or you could email me at eabt123@gmail.com. Yeah, and I'd be glad to help out. I'm not like a professional at this stuff, but guys, it took me 3 attempts and I've been through it, and I just want this video to be out there for people who are like, oh my god, I really, really need help, because there really aren't many videos out there. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please let me know any other videos to make. I'm so sorry I've not been consistent, but I hope you guys have a great day. Okay, bye guys.